What's up for common gases?
What common, yeah, what are we reading?
Carbon monoxide, the lower explosive limit, and oxygen.
H2S?
Yeah.
Why?
If you smell it, you're dead.
Why those four?
It's the most common.
Because this is what ISO requires for confined space entry. So we borrowed that from industry. Like I said, these are made to run 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. Actually, if you let the battery die, you're supposed to turn it back on for 6 hours. So one of those sensors can recalibrate. So we'll start with CO. What are our action levels for CO? We go in a house, let's say our CO alarm went off. At what point do we need to evacuate them? At what point can we let them stay?
50 parts per million?
8 hours for workers.
Less than 9,
Oh.
they can stay,
Oh,
okay? Depending on your protocol or what you read, 30 to 35
Says OSHA cents.
per million.
A permissible exposure limit of 50.
It probably does.
What?
So what are we supposed to do when we encounter 30 to 35 parts per
Ventilate.
million? Mask up if you can't ventilate. But if we're trying to find this, do we want to ventilate right away, or do we want to mask up and see if we can't find the actual source? Ventilate, absolutely. What's the ideal age?
What does it stand for, or what is the,
Carbon monoxide.
over 35?
1200. Close.
That's right. It's still over
That is
35.
Listen, I was not wrong. Well, then it says 30 to 35, and it's like, oh, but.
Flammable range, this is not really LEL, but it does have its flammability. I believe it's 12.5 to 74 inch. So before there was natural gas, there was town gas, because towns produced it. They took coal, they put it in a big oven that was airtight, they heated it up, it off-gassed about 50% methane and about 40% carbon monoxide. That's what you burned in your house. Both of these will burn together. It's actually a pretty popular form of suicide to lay a chair down in front of your oven, open the oven, stick your head in, and you'd be dead in about 15 minutes just from breathing the amount of carbon monoxide that they were pumping in. So the next one is LEL. How is that expressed? Parts per million or percentages?
percentage.
Okay, so we're gonna go with natural gas. What's the flammable range of natural gas? About 5 to 15%. If it's hot, or if there's more pressure, these obviously can widen. You can go down to 4 to 16 if there is a range. So why is this in parts per million and this in percentages?
Because it's telling you what percentage of the lower explosive level limit you're at. So
Okay,
it's gonna show you what percentage you're at the 5%.
okay, so why can't we do that with parts per million?
Because it is a qualitative measurement.
Okay, so somebody gave me $1 million. What is 50% of $1 million?
500,000. I was waiting on the wrong answer.
25.
50 grand?
What is 10% of $1 million put my $1 million in a CD at 10%, how much am I gonna make just sitting on my ass?
100,000.
How about 1%? If I'm only getting 1% on $1 million, probably not a very good investment.
10,000.
We're gonna go to 0.1%. One zero. How much? 1,000. Yeah. So we said 5 to 15%. So in parts per million, what's the LEL of natural gas?
5%.
In parts per million.
Oh.
So we said 1% is 10,000. Now we have 5%,
50,000.
50,000. That's too many to count for our little sensors. So we simplify it and make 5 to 15%. So here is your flammability range. Here's 50. And here, and we'll say 5. We'll say 15 is about right here. So when we go in and this monitor, your gas says that you're at 10% or 20%, let's say 20%. Where are you at on that? Beep when I say stop. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Beep when I hit 20%, or where do you think 20% is? From this monitor, where is 20%? You're going in here,
Beep. Beep.
right there? How come?
Because it's a percentage of the lower explosive limit, which is 5%, so if on the scale, that's. I don't know if I know.
Yeah, you're on the right track,
Yeah.
thank you. So, this is actually our LEL, to keep us safe, keep us from going too deep, is 10% of the LEL. So, we know the LEL is 5%, and it's reading at 10% of 5%. So really, 10% of 5%, 0.5? 0.5 to 1.5. So if you take that in, and it's beeping at 20%, and you light a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You're not gonna blow up. Is it a good idea to light a cigarette? Because what if I go like this? Or what if I go like this?
Could change quickly.
It changes quickly. The human walks 4 feet per second. I tell you there's natural gas in here, and you start walking, this sensor takes, depending on temperature, 30 seconds before it reads it, interprets it, and spits out a number. If I tell you to walk, and you're doing the fireman walk, ready to get back to the station, like I am, that probably just got supper on the table, how far can I walk before that actual number pops up?
Down the hallway.
120 feet. So now it beeps, but I'm leaving 120 feet back. So to go through a door, it should take you at least a minute and a half. 30 seconds from the bottom, it takes 30 seconds. 30 seconds from the side, it takes 30 seconds. 30 seconds at the top, you open the door, 30 seconds. How long does it take to turn that thing on? For it to warm up? A minute? You gonna do a fresh air calibrate? How long does that take? Another minute? So you get there, you get off the truck, and you're doing this for 2 minutes, and then you're going up here for another minute. Whoever, if there's somebody recording you, or the fire chief is looking at you, they're thinking, what in in the hell are these guys doing? Why are they so slow? This stuff is slow. We should slow down with these monitors. On Tulsa, on our ladders, we have HCN, hydrogen cyanide, for post-fire activities. So somebody goes in, they're supposed to read, hey, we don't have any hydrogen cyanide or carbon monoxide, toxic twins, so we can take our air packs off. This takes 400 seconds to read. It's a long time. If we can smell or see smoke post-fire, is there bad stuff that we're just not seeing? Right there in that golf ball or tennis ball size bubble? Absolutely, I think this is a bad idea. But that's just my opinion. All right. Now, remember this, I'll just leave it up there. So you go down to the Easy Mart and you've got people that are lightheaded, dizzy, confused, and they say you have a carbon monoxide. They say our carbon monoxide alarm just went off in Easy Mart or Love's or any place. I just saw 2 of them. So you go in, let's talk about O2 for a minute. What's the normal range of oxygen? 20.9. Good, that's what it says on the meter. What is safe range that we can be in? 19 and a half, 23 and a half. We can live in that environment. 19 and a half to 23 and a half. That's safe. So we go in, and our monitor says 20.9. We're here for carbon monoxide because that's what the dispatch told us. At Easy Mart, they don't have natural gas. We walk in, it goes to 20.8. It goes to 20.7. 20.6. But he said safe is 19.5 to 23.5. We're okay. So we walk in and we're down to 20.3. So let's just go 19.9. That's a full percentage.
That English route kept.
So we're at 19.9. I know because I went to school one time. They said 19 and a half, 23 and a half, you're okay. Hold that thought. So in this room, I'm gonna kind of guesstimate here. We're gonna jump back and forth. And we're gonna call this 20% oxygen, generically speaking. And we're gonna call it 80% nitrogen. For the most part, there's other stuff, right? We know that. So our meter is reading this right here. So I'll explain it to you this way. You got 100 firemen outside, and you all need to vote on something. The room will only allow 20 people come in. And it's like the electoral college. Every 5 people, they vote yes or no. You bring 20 people in. When that, one of those 20 people raises their hand, how many are they actually representing? 5, right? Same thing. Does that make sense? So we said 0.1. So if we go down to 20.7, how much of something else is displacing? That's 0.1 from 20.9, I'm sorry, 20.8 to 20.7. okay? How much of what is being, how much of oxygen is being displaced?
1,000 parts per million.
1,000, except representative. What did I say? How many? 5,000 for every time you go down. So now you go down to Easy Mark. What they got in the back, it makes you pop fizzy. Big silver thing sitting in the back. Carbon dioxide. They said carbon monoxide, and when you go to carbon monoxide, they're gonna say carbon dioxide. They're gonna get it wrong, guaranteed. What's IDLH of carbon dioxide? Um,
40,000 parts per million.
40,000 parts per million. Do we have a carbon dioxide meter? You guys have one? You don't. So if you're trusting, so I've heard, we'll just use the O2 to know if we're in carbon dioxide. If you use it, and you're down to 19.9, and they said a full percentage is 10,000, except that it's oxygen, you know, factor 5, you're okay until you're not. So 1%, 50,000 parts per million. If it happens to be CO2, one breath, especially me, I'm kind of old, I'm probably going down. So out of all of these, this is gonna keep you safe, this is gonna go off at 30 or 35. This one right here, bites you in the butt. Any questions?
We have CO2 suppression systems.
Yes.
At a factory,
Yeah.
and they have the long force, and everybody works there is trained to haul that out of there.
Yep.
Where we see it the most of is at Taco Bell. You know, they're constantly calling us saying, all right, alarm's going off, we go down there and we can't even find it, and it stops showing up on the meter.
Yeah. And, you know, if you wait until your O2 starts going down, you could be in trouble. So I don't expect you to remember this. I expect that if your O2 starts trending down, I'm not talking about, oh, it goes to 20.8 and then it goes to 21, you know, they all will drift a little bit. But if we're looking for trends, if this starts trending down, like right here, I'm saying I'm out. SCBA. Another place, I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. I think you can get a crop in 3 months instead of 4 months. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If you're growing weed and you pump it full of CO2, plants intake CO2, so they will pump this building full of CO2, so you can get a crop faster. Anybody heard of that?
Yeah, of course.
Are my numbers right? No, okay.
I'll be smoking out of
H2S, the wise man learns from his mistakes, the smart man learns from his mistakes, the wise man learns from your mistakes. So if I get there, I'm gonna ask you what it smells like. Because you smell this, and then it burns your receptors, and then you don't smell it. IDLH, 50 parts per million. Takes 30 seconds. So this is enough. My point is, slow down. Think about what you're doing, look at your monitor, and trust but verify. We would never go in with one monitor. We have at least 2 4 gases and a PID. Anybody real quick, tell me what a PID does, how it works, in general sense?
Sniff out gases.
Possibly, yeah. So,
Measures for toxins, and then comparing it to all
isobutylene, that's what it's calibrated to. But if you, for a known chemical, for this to be able to see it, this has a bulb in it. It brings it in, it burns it. If it can knock that electron off, then it will read it. So just pick any chemical in there and look down for IP, ionization potential.
Hydrogen sulfide is 10.46. I'm not gonna pretend like I know what EV means,
Perfect.
but
Perfect. So this only sees things that are 10.6 or less. Less than 10.6
Yeah.
or 10.6 anyway. 10.6
I'm so
or
sorry.
less.
so sorry.
So it's got a bulb in there. If it can burn it, it's because the IP is 10.6 or less. Basically, if it smells good, if it's, to us, if it's an aromatic, this is probably gonna be able to see it. That's why you can see snuff, gasoline, which is a mixture of several different things. So that's why we use these hand in hand. Handy tool, they work and they go together. So, who's my new guy? Is the new guy still in here?
No, he went on the call, and he's also never had any fire classes.
Okay, so,
Who's the next person? No, he's also gone. You probably guessed it a little bit.
oh, I think so. Oh,
Probably, just got out all. Kristen, do you want to review?
so, like I said, these go hand in hand. You can, if you want to play a trick on your buddy, just put your finger over the pump. They'll start alarming. I like to do that when people are carrying a full gas around. You
Like a good
can,
old practical joke, make them think they're dead.
So I told you it takes 30 seconds to alarm.
That will also do it. Which is handily right where your thumb is.
Oh,
But you can't feel an instructor glove if you have one?
Yeah, like that. Stop alarm.
it won't? Sorry.
It didn't yesterday anyways.
Don't hold down.
So do you guys have these on the truck, 4 gases?
Yeah,
Or
we
you
got
got-
4 gas.
You do have,
Yeah, these should be on there,
okay.
but they're not.
Oh.
They're on Friday.
I'm about to say, well, we don't have one.
So,
But yeah,
some,
these should-
somebody look up the lower explosive range of vinyl chloride.
Vinyl, even for it?
Putting my reminder.
You know, I downloaded that app a minute ago, and you think I would have used it. Vinyl chloride is 2.6 on the
Chloride.
ground. Oh, chloride. It is 3.6.
3.6.
Chloride.
Yeah, water should be there.